Hi everyone, Dion Johnson here with day 2 of my 21-day video challenge, Create a Better Work Life. Now yesterday on day 1 it was fantastic. I got so much love from you, comments and emails and stories about where you're at, and I love all of that, so keep your comments coming. You can email me at connect@dionjohnson.com or subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Fed Up at Work TV, and let's just keep the communication going. I love it. Now, this morning when I woke up, I wondered what I should tell you about and what I should talk to you about for message number 2. And I remembered a conversation that I had with a lady not so long ago who is having a really terrible time at work. Now, she'd been fed up at work for quite some time, and so she spoke to me at length for about 10 minutes. I'd line up without even taking a breath and telling me all about her boss and the situation she was dealing with, her colleagues and the clients that were getting on her nerves. She told me about the distance from her home, and she told me about all the things that were going wrong and how much she wanted more money and all of this. She was really passionate about all the things that were wrong. And then she said, well, anyway, that's enough about me, Dion, what are you up to? And I said, well, actually, let's just backtrack a bit and tell me, what are you doing about that situation? It's a question I'm asking you today. What are you doing about that situation? And she said something really, really powerful. She said, Dion, I've tried everything. I have, written to the boss. I've made my point of view really clear. I've, pushed and pulled. I've, done everything that I can, and it's just the way it is. And she said it with such conviction. She said she's just resigned herself to the fact that this is how her work life is going to be for now. And she said that, she just puts her head down, she gets through her working day, and she gets out of there as quick as she can. And when people come to me, I hear this over and over again, people telling me how they've done everything that they can to make the situation different, and that this is just the way it is. And it got me thinking this morning about a film that I watched just a little while ago called 127 Hours. Now, I don't know if any of you have watched this film, but it's fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And it's about a guy named Aron Ralston. He's an adventurer, and he went out one day into the Utah desert, and he found himself in a really sticky situation that reminds me of the conversation that I had with that lady. Let me read an article that I found today. It was April 2003, and he was at the bottom of a dark, cold chasm, hundreds of feet beneath the Utah desert. Now, I know that a lot of you are feeling trapped in a deep, dark workplace right now, so I am hoping that you can get the parallel. Now, what should have been an enjoyable afternoon's exploration of this remote canyon turned into a disaster when he dislodged a huge boulder, which then fell on him, pinning him to the rock wall with his forearm and hand. So what was happening was he had fallen down this deep, dark place, and he was stuck, like some of you are in your work life, stuck by this great big boulder. He was trapped with a bottle of water and virtually no food for 5 days, having failed to move the boulder or chip away at the rock to free his arm. So get this picture, right? He's down this deep, dark place. He's stuck with his hand against the rock wall and a great big boulder against his hand, and he can't push it out of the way. He can't pull it out of the way. He can't pull his arm out. He's just really, really stuck, and he tries everything. He tries to push it with all of his might. He tries to pull it towards him. He tries to pull his arm out, and nothing is working. He's done everything. And then, so you get the picture, right? You get how the parallel between your work life might be and this guy's situation. And he was trapped there with nothing. And lots of people, when they tell me about being trapped in their job and having tried everything, they describe those efforts as working on the boulder. So whatever it is, they try and manipulate the boss, or manipulate their workload, or manipulate the distance from their home to their work, or whatever they try and do. And those are fantastic actions. You really have to try to make work better by dealing with the things that seem to be blocking your way. But when you've tried all of that and nothing's working, doesn't mean that there isn't anything else that's going to work. What I'm suggesting today is that the action that you might have to take is a higher level action. It's a level that's gonna cost you more. It's gonna bend you up out of shape a little bit. And when people say to me that there's nothing else that they can do, they've tried everything, what they're really saying to me is that I haven't even thought about what the next level of action might be. Well, let's check out what this guy did. So by this point, Ralston, who'd given up his job as a mechanical engineer for a life of exploring the mountains and the canyons, had come to see his right forearm as his enemy. I love this, because what this is really saying is that rather than now starting to see the boulder or the rock as the enemy, he started to see his situation, his stuck, trapped situation, as something to do with him, his person, his arm. And so he came up with a plan to get free. When he had that switch in perspective about what the actual problem was, he began to get free. And what he did, he snapped the bones of his arm using his body weight, and then he set about cutting off the limb with a penknife and experienced what he describes as 100 times more powerful an experience and more beautiful an experience than seeing his son Leo born. This guy chopped his arm off, and it was when he decided to look at his dilemma and his problem from a personal view that he began to get the strategies of other action to take. And those other actions were going to now change his life forever. They were going to change the way he was functioning. They were going to change the way he looked. They were going to change everything about him. He chopped his arm off. So, you know what, my friend, if you're telling me that you've tried everything, then I want to make a suggestion that perhaps you haven't tried everything. Perhaps there is another level of trying, another level of action that you're now going to have to begin to consider. And that level of action isn't going to be anything to do with the workplace or your boss or your workload. It's going to be to do with you. You're going to have to start to think of the enemy as the thing that's resisting you, that's causing you the resistance to the change. And it's going to cost you. So some of you are going to have a truth transplant. Some of you are going to have a lie-ectomy. Those lies that are keeping you stuck there, you're going to have to begin to incise those out of your life. And they're usually generated from inside here, folks. You're going to have an amputation of the stuff that's holding you on to this situation that's not working for you anymore. I'm suggesting to you that there is another level of action, that when you've tried everything, that maybe now's the time to start to think about a new level of action. It's not just like this. It's not the way it is, and you haven't tried everything. There's always a choice, always something else that you can do, just at an higher level. It's going to cost you. So why don't you think today about making a decision to saying to yourself, you know what, yep, I'm willing to do what it takes, even if it's painful, even if it's going to cost me an arm or a leg. Not literally, you understand. But if it's going to cost me something that's going to be painful, then I'm willing to pay the price. Why not say that today? You can write yourself a little declaration in your journal. You can go to my website, www.fedupatwork.com, and download the ebook. In the ebook, there's a little place there that you can write your declaration and say, you know what, I commit today to doing what it takes, and realizing that I haven't done everything, but I'm prepared to. Are you prepared to do everything? See you later. Bye.